you guys. Happy hour is from 4 to 6.
Miss Kennedy, would you get me a medium dry vodka martini?
What a
Shaken, not stirred.
Hold on. I'm not hearing it right. Hold on. We got it now.
Is there alcohol in this?
Oh, God, honey, no. What kind of mother do you think I am? Why do you want a little bit? Because if you're going to drink, I'd rather you do it in the house.
Hello, how is everyone doing? Can you all hear me? I've had like the worst tech issues today. So I hope everyone's doing okay. I'm using actually just my laptop's really stupid camera because I went to try to film earlier today with Bone Bridger and John Automates, and my camera just says Elgato and it has no signal. So we're using this, and I saw the sound also cut out on that, but that's okay. We're rocking and rolling here today. How's everyone doing? I hope you have you're having a great week. I feel like fall is like 100% like on its way. We've had some really nice weather, nice and cool, not too hot. I'm going to jump into the chat a little early, and then we'll talk about some other things. But yeah, it's been the most stressful thing. I was just on tech support too, and they didn't help me at all. So we love that. We love the helpful tech support when it comes to this stuff. But I know a lot of the people in the chat are normally also YouTubers, so they can understand when it comes to tech problems. So, and I think I'm like a little dark too. Again, it's this weird camera that I'm using, so I hope it looks okay. Here we are. I have a special guest this evening too. His name's Sam, and he's actually from Yorkshire. I kind of screwed that up last time. I thought he was from Scotland, but he's actually from Yorkshire. Don't kill me, Sam. I think it's going to be a great time. So he'll be on at 5. Let's see what everyone's doing. Laren, how are you doing, Laren? Good afternoon. I hope you're having a nice day so far. What's going on, Tracy? Hope you're well. I am. I'm calming down from the stress of what that was like. But we're getting there. We're doing okay, I think. But yeah, if I lag at all or if there's any tech issues, just tell me, because this stuff can be a nightmare. I'm fine when I film stuff like for myself, or like I'm hired to film something with tech stuff. But like for some reason, I feel like they make it so complicated for things to run smoothly. When it comes to this stuff, I think my cam link might have just exploded. I think that's kind of what I came to the conclusion, that my cam link does not want to work anymore. So, and I'm not sure why, but because I've only had it for like 2 months, I'd say. So if anyone has any suggestions, I'd be incredibly open to those. Dimension Scott, how are you? I'm, yeah, as I said, pretty much just getting through the tech stuff. So yeah, so Bone Bridger and John just wound up having to film without me because I was like, I have a black screen and I can't be seen here. So hopefully I'll get that rectified sooner than later. I'm planning on seeing A Haunted in Venice for a second time tomorrow night. I'm so glad that you said that, because I've been wanting to talk to someone that's seen that film. I recently went on the street again. I went to Central Park 2 days ago, I believe. Yeah, 2 days ago. And I was asking people what they're looking forward to seeing. And that was an answer that came up a few times. So I like Kenneth Branagh. I have not seen the first two, though. And I know that they're all separate. I know they're all Agatha Christie novels adaptations. I have seen the original Murder on the Orient Express, which I thoroughly enjoyed. And it had such a crazy cast, the original. It had like Vanessa Redgrave and multiple others that I was really surprised to see in there. So I gotta get caught up on these things. I've heard that this one, though, is like everyone's favorite out of the 3. So, and I know I don't need to see them in order, but Audio is good. Thank you, Laren. At least the audio is working today. Normally it's the audio that's my issue, and everything else is fine. And today it's the video. So, yeah. Thank you for giving us the input, or giving me the input. Hear you perfectly fine. Fantastic. Everyone's saying the audio is good. Well, then that's really all we need, because if you couldn't hear me, then that would be a pretty bad stream. Let's see here. Cal L Daily. Hey Tracy, good to see you. Thank you for stopping by. Thank you for showing up. And as always, I love to hear what you guys are seeing. I know like Luke suggested, or Luke said he's seeing Haunting in Venice again. He's really good about seeing movies twice in theaters. I don't always have the time to do that, but there's a couple that I would like to see again for sure. There's some feedback happening. Don't know if you know. Yes, there is. Yes, I'm just trying to catch up with everyone here. Thank you so much. Slept in Croissant, I can hear you and I'm really deaf. Well, I'm sorry you have such hearing issues, but thank you for letting me know. Thank you very much. What's up, Drew? How's it going? Minhajul, I believe Minhajul. I believe that's how you pronounce that. I really hate mispronouncing people's names, and I try to be as respectful as possible. And I've seen you around in the chats for sure. Thanks for stopping by. Hi Tracy, hope you're well. Have you seen Talk to Me and the new Boogeyman? What's your thoughts on both? Talk to Me was fantastic. So Talk to Me was absolutely excellent. Highly recommend it. A24 is really just doing a fantastic job. I even love the fact that Past Lives is allowed to do all of their press for the award season, because A24 agreed to everything that the writers and actors asked for. They are like the most stand-up, integrity-based company that just wants to create really incredible art, and I really respect that. If I ever wanted to work for a company, or when I have my own films produced, I would love to go to A24 or something similar. So I have not seen the new Boogeyman though, so I'd love to hear your thoughts if you have seen it. Yes, Sam, that is my guest. I'm glad he's clarifying. I'm so sorry. I know that that's like an iffy subject too. Like you can't say someone's like Irish or British or Scottish without them like getting mad if it's wrong, because there's been such tension. But I hopefully you're not offended that I thought you were from Scotland. I know you're Northern England, so the accent is slightly different, and that's why I kind of thought that might be the case. And I apologize. I'm not an accents expert, though, believe me. So I apologize. No, not trying to upset anyone. Newcastle, though, that sounds cool. Is that the same? I mean, we'll talk all about that when you get on here. But I'm very curious to see where Newcastle is, and if is Newcastle the same as where the brewing company started? I'm assuming that is. So we can talk about that because it is happy hour. So that's good to know. Let's see. Okay, Slip de Garçon, Yorkshire man. My family is from there. That's great. They are talking about that. It's fantastic stuff. Here we are. I kind of want to see the retirement plan with Nick Cage. Not sure yet though. I'm curious if I just saw a trailer for a new Nicolas Cage film, and I'm not sure if it's called The Retirement Plan, but I think it is. And if is it the one where in the trailer everyone's dreaming of the same guy and it's him? Because I thought that concept was just so incredibly fascinating. And I really want to see that movie. So yes, I'm excited. I'm definitely looking forward to that. I think Nicolas Cage is doing a really great work. So yeah. Oh, cheers, Laren. Cheers. I'd love to know what beer you're drinking. I always like recommendations. Watch Suspiria from Argento today. That's pretty fantastic, Tracy. Oh, I bet. Yeah. That's actually on my list. I know that's like blasphemous to tell film people that you haven't seen Suspiria. I know quite a few people that would be very mad at me, but that is absolutely on my list for sure. Yes, happy hour. Cheers, Max. That's my boyfriend. I also wanted to say to anyone that is following my boyfriend on Letterboxd, he just kind of got started with it. And because of the whole Netflix DVD fiasco where we can't get them anymore, we actually started putting our Netflix queue onto his Letterboxd. It says, so like it says like his watch list. He's seen a lot of those movies, but there are certain films that I haven't seen or he wants to rewatch them. So I don't want you to think there's like certain movies on there that you're like, what? He hasn't seen that? No. It's just we're transferring the Netflix queue. And I actually think that's a good place to bring in the next Netflix DVD while it still lasts. Last night we watched three Billboards of Ebbing, Missouri. I had already seen it in theaters, but I wanted to show him. I am a big Martin McDonagh fan. I don't know if anyone here saw The Banshees of Inisherin last year. I think I like Banshees of Inisherin better, but they're just really such different films. And Three Billboards of Ebbing, Missouri, of course, got Frances McDormand and Sam Rockwell their Oscars, and rightfully so. So that was fun to do. And we also watched, what else did we watch? No, I don't. There was another one on our Netflix. I'll think about that, but neither here nor there. Let's get to the Netflix DVD queue. Cinema Paradiso. If you are a huge movie fan, I'm sure you know what this is. I'm really mad I've never seen it. It's I'm kind of trying to go into it as blindly as possible. But it is from 1988. I've seen the trailer. It looks absolutely wild. And yeah, I'm excited. So if anyone here has seen Cinema Paradiso, I would love to know your thoughts on it. And ignore the ambulances. There's, it's New York. What can you do? Now that we've got the Netflix DVD out of the way, let's go down and see what everyone's saying about this stuff. Okay. Oh, okay. So we clarified that. He's lived in Berwick for 5 years, which is close by Edinburgh. Or Edinburgh. Yeah, so that I believe that's in Scotland. Tracy, are you excited for the new Spider-Man game? Are much a gamer? Apologies. I genuinely don't know. If so, what's excitement level for it? Will you be playing from launch? I've only played one Spider-Man game, and that is I don't know what it's called. The PlayStation one. Not the one where you can play as Miles Morales, or the one you can play with both of them. I think that sounds really awesome. I'm not the biggest gamer, but I do enjoy them from time and again. So let's see here. We have Did You See That? The legend Sam joining tonight. I hope you're both doing well. We are. We had a lot of technical difficulties today. So thank you for joining. More so than normal. Again, normally I have audio issues, not film issues. Through the Lens, Josh. Thank you for stopping by. So in further news, I know last week I talked about Drew Barrymore, and I was just absolutely flabbergasted and pissed. I was honestly just pissed off that she decided to continue her show without writers. And I'm so thrilled she has decided to put her show on pause because of the strike and until the strike is resumed. We all know how I feel about that. I don't know how you guys feel about that, but I think it's just so disrespectful to everyone in your industry to just be like, oh, that's fine, but I'm going to continue my show without writers because we don't need them, because you do need writers. I don't care who you are, you need writers. So, unless you're a stand-up comedian, then you are your own writer. But Drew Barrymore is not a stand-up comedian, and, and again, my other issue with it was, those talk shows are to promote people's projects. So you can't have anyone promote their projects. So why are you even bothering doing the show? Drove me nuts. That Nick Cage one is called Dream Scenario. That's the first I've heard of. It sounds very intriguing. Okay. Dream Scenario. Okay. So then the other one is the retirement plan. I think that's, yeah. So we've got the retirement plan as well as the Dream Scenario, or Dream Scenario, I should say. The last Nicolas Cage movie I saw was one with Pedro Pascal, and I really thoroughly enjoyed it, and I always forget the title. I think I've even said that on here that I forget the title for that one, but I really enjoyed it, and I loved the chemistry between Pedro Pascal and Nicolas Cage as well. Another film I saw this past week, which was a rewatch for me, was The Apartment. It's Billy Wilder's fantastic movie with Jack Lemmon, Fred McMurray, and the incredible Shirley MacLaine. And that movie just never gets old. The writing and the pacing of The Apartment is just absolutely perfect. It's perfect. It's honestly, I would say it's a perfect film. If anyone in the chat has seen The Apartment, please let me know. I know it's on like every list, like every AFI Top 100 list. etc., things like that. And it was just really great to rewatch it because I had seen it, I think, like 10 or 15 years ago. So watching it now at a certain age and kind of looking it through a different lens was really fantastic. So I would love to hear if any of you guys have seen The Apartment, and it's fantastic. If you haven't seen it, I highly recommend it. It's just one of those movies that you're like, oh, why did I wait so long to rewatch this or watch it? So let's see here. Oh, yes, this is what you're drinking. It's a Revolution IPA called The Anti-Hero. It's a Chicago-based company. Oh, that's very cool. I love local breweries and things like that. And if anyone's joined late, my camera totally decided to not work today, and my cam link. So that's why I'm using like the stupid FaceTime camera that's on this computer. So, what's a movie you love but surprisingly don't own in your collection? Like all of them, because I have no space for movies. So I have a small collection. Max has probably more movies than I do, because I've always lived in smaller places. But yeah, that I'll star this and see if there's any specific ones. But I mean, I could name a billion. So, but that will not be the case when I eventually move to a larger space. Unbearable Weight of Massive Talent. Yes, Bagface. Thank you for letting me know. I don't know why I just can never get that title like straight. It's just I don't know what it is, but I highly recommend the movie. The Apartment is timeless. I totally agree. I absolutely adore it. Really, just fantastic filmmaking. Absolutely amazing to see all the past lives. Love. Yes, yes, yes. I'm so thrilled that movie is going to do press, be able to do. I think it's going to be like the only movie that can do press, which is going to be very strange. So maybe that'll actually help it with the Oscars, because it definitely deserves a ton of them, at least for nominations. Nothing's solidified yet. Soon I'm going to be getting a couple people that have been to TIFF, the Toronto Film Festival, and I can't wait to hear what their picks are for the award season. The Apartment is great. Yes, Willie's movies and music. It absolutely is. Thank you so much for joining. Let's see here. Oh, I'm so glad you brought this up. As much as I love Past Lives and I love A24, I don't understand why Beau is Afraid and Past Lives did not get a 4K release. It's very strange to me. Maybe you guys know. I don't know if they're just waiting for Criterion to do their thing with it, but it just came out, so you could technically buy Past Lives, and it's just a very basic Blu-ray. So I would love to know your thoughts on why. I mean, I think A24, they're doing pretty well financially, especially with all the money they're making off of Talk to Me. So I'm just I was taken aback by that when I saw. Your recommendation of On the Waterfront was excellent. Looks like I'll have to watch The Apartment. Yes, absolutely. I'm so glad you liked On the Waterfront. Really happy about that. And yes, The Apartment is an absolute must. And it's so engaging. The dialogue, like you don't want to stop at any point. And it's I know a couple of the platforms have it on like where there's ads in between. This is one of those movies where like you just don't want to stop at any point, and it kind of can ruin the rhythm and flow of the dialogue and pacing. But if you can't obviously find it anywhere else, do what you can to just watch it, because you will not regret it, and you will see why it is regarded as one of the best films ever made. There's no doubt about that. So yes, I'm so happy you watched On the Waterfront though. Watching a film called The Novice right now, and wow, it has been some of the best editing I've ever seen. The Novice. Let's look that one up. I'm gonna get my I'll share my screen here in a second so we can all do this together, because I want to know what Josh is talking about. Let's see. Share the screen. Okay. So let's see. The Novice. Is this one you're referencing? I'm assuming it is. Okay. If anyone else in the chat has seen this, I hate why is there an ad here? I hate that. Anyway, 2021, an hour and 37 minutes. Lauren Hadaway. Do you guys know who this director is? Maybe she's a first-time director. She looks like someone I've seen in films before, like as an actress and not a director. No, she's just been on The Crew. So she's directed 2 things, actually just a short and then this film. That's really cool. She's been in the sound department a lot though, for quite a few projects. Is she a musician perhaps? Well, maybe not. Maybe just in the sound department. Sometimes when they have musicians, they'll have them listed under the sound department tab of IMDb. So I'm going to get that out of here for now, since we all now know what that is. Thank you for suggesting that, though, through the lens, Josh. Talk shows historically run without writers during strikes, like many back in 2008 during that strike. I think everyone was hard on Drew. Run without writers, I'm sure, blah, 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 blah. I mean, I get what you're saying, why people were hard on her, but if she had already gone this far, then I feel like, and again, I think it's just coming from, if it was just a writer's strike, that would be one thing, but it's also an actor's strike. And I think with the two of those and the combination and how severe this one is, I just think it was strange that she wanted to do that. So obviously, I think I like her a lot as a person, and I'm not trying to be overly harsh, but I just was so surprised by that decision. So, but I understand what you're saying. Yeah, cool. That was the right film. Perfect. The Novice is an incredible film, definitely worth a watch. Thank you so much for joining, Matt. I'm so glad you are also recommending this movie. I will absolutely put it on my list to watch sooner than later. The Novice has the feel of Black Swan with the editing of The Social Network. Well, okay, that's right up my alley. I love Black Swan. That's one of my favorite films, and I really do appreciate The Social Network, and I really love the editing in The Social Network. So, fantastic. We're doing a little Aronofsky David Fincher combination. Sign me up any day. Or Whiplash. Okay, I'm a little Damien Chazelle in there too. That sounds perfect. We've got the Damien Chazelle, Darren Aronofsky, David Fincher combo. Fantastic. Yeah, I will definitely be checking that one out. Now, for everyone that's in the chat, I should say, this past weekend, well, I actually would love to hear this, because when was the last time you actually went to the theater? Because I haven't actually gone since. What was the last thing that I saw? It's been a while. It might have been, was it Strays? It might have been Strays. I'm not positive. I think Strays might have been the last movie I saw in theaters. That seems insane to me, but there just hasn't really been anything that I'm rushing to go see. And I am trying to do this new format where I do ask people on the street what movies they're into seeing. So like I've been kind of switching gears, just temporarily playing around with things. So I haven't really felt the need to do a review. Oh, you know what? That was it. Blue Beetle was it. And I think that's exactly the last time I went to the theater. And maybe that there's a reason why. Yeah, because Blue Beetle was out before Strays, I think. Yeah. Anyway, A Haunting in Venice is actually one that I will say I do want to see. And if anything else that's coming out, I mean, I was never going to see, oh my goodness. Oh, sorry, Dumb Money came out. I do have to see it, but I have already seen it. I saw it back in February, and I think I can finally say that now that the movie's out, because I went to one of those secret screenings, and you have to sign an NDA and all that stuff, and the movie wasn't finished. So now I just want to go see Dumb Money, just because I want to compare and contrast everything they changed. I don't see it being a big Oscar movie. I know that people are trying to say like, oh, it has a chance. Like, it's fine. It's like a regular biopic that you would hope for. Like it's you know, I'm this is again my review from once before it was finished. So I do want to see it again, and maybe I'll do a video on that, like what they changed from the time I saw it. I did watch Air though recently. I can't believe I was so late to the party with Air. And I felt that the performances were really good and the story and script was really good. I felt Ben Affleck's directing was a little uninspired. And I didn't really think that there was anything new that he brought to the table, but I still really enjoyed it. And the only other critique I would have was the soundtrack was insane. Like, I don't know how much money they spent on it, but like every 5 seconds, there was another song from the late 80s, early 90s, and it would play for like 10, 15 seconds, or maybe I'm over exaggerating, but it was really short. And then they just move on. And a lot of the songs didn't fit the scene, and it just felt like rushed. I would have appreciated just having a better score. The score was cool. It did remind me a lot of the score from Risky Business. I don't know if you guys have ever seen Risky Business from the 80s with Tom Cruise, but that very techno mystery thriller score that they used in Risky Business really reminded me of the score they used in Air. So, and I know some people were saying potentially a supporting actress nomination for Viola Davis. I don't think this is the role for her to get that. I think she's obviously she does a great job in the movie, but to me, it's not an Oscar role at all. So I don't know what you guys feel. We're going to keep going through the chat a little bit more, and then I'm going to let's see here. Last time I was in there was Across the Spider-Verse 2 months ago because of life. Yeah, stuff happens, that's for sure. I'm learning that more and more every time I go out and I interview people on the street and I'm like, what did you see? And a lot of people only saw like 2 movies this summer. Some people saw no movies this summer. So I'm like, okay, so it's kind of eye awakening to notice that people don't really go out. And the one movie that some people said they did actually go out for was Barbie. And that campaign really got to people that don't normally go to the movies. So, which is why I think it did so well. Let's see here. Might go see Dumb Money this week, but all the screenings are when schools are out, which means it will take hours to get there. Oh, that sucks. I'm sorry to hear that. You are not wrong. Dumb Money is exactly like The Big Short for gamers. And just like I think that I mean I love that this film has come out so currently, and this happened only very recently in the beginning of the pandemic. I think we all remember the GameStop craziness that went on with the stocks. So I'm excited that this movie was made. I think it's like a well-made film. Again, when I saw it, it definitely needed work. It didn't even have a score. It was using the score. Speaking of The Social Network. It was using the score from the Social Network, the Atticus Ross. Oh my goodness, I'm blanking on his partner's name. Anyway, the guys from 9 Inch Nails. It was their score from the Social Network that they actually used when I saw Dumb Money, because that was not even chosen yet or finished. I feel a bit bad admitting this, but I haven't been to the cinema since 2012, and before that was about 2002. I love films, but not the cinema. That's understandable. And that I know that there's a lot of people like that. So, I mean, if you're able to just like, if you fully enjoy watching movies at home and hate going to the theater, then do it at home. That's happening more and more. I don't want theaters to officially die because of that. And I think that's really just because people were really trained from the pandemic to just stream instead of go to the theater. But you seem like you're someone that has always just disliked going to the theater in general. And I do know people like that. So yeah, don't feel bad about it. Just enjoy it from the comfort of your own home. My recent cinema experience have been unbearable with regards to the audience, so I don't go much anymore, sadly. That's a shame. I haven't had too much of an issue when I was in... Oh, when I saw Strays, someone in the beginning when the film started was like on the phone. And then I guess they were talking on the phone, telling them that person where they were in the theater. But like the conversation went on way too long. And like if it hadn't happened sooner, I know someone would have told them to shut up, because it was really getting ridiculous. Risky Business does have a great score and a great train scene. Yes, it's such a good scene. I'm so glad you brought up the train scene. And the score feels like a train. So it has that momentum of a train, which is why that works out so well. Yeah, great film. Trent Reznor. Did I say Atticus Ross and not Trent Reznor? That's insane. I feel like the normal thing to do would be to mention Trent Reznor and forget about Atticus Ross. But thank you for clarifying that. I'm about to have my guest on. I have to say right here, though, real quick, before we get the guest, yes, I have seen The Conversation. I did a video on it. They should actually remake it, because I think it really benefits what's going on right now with all of our devices listening to us and the paranoia that some people have. Great question. It is fantastic. Highly recommend The Conversation. Gene Hackman is phenomenal in that movie. So I'm going to get my guest on, and and thank you so much for that question, Reloaded 17. I'm going to get him on, and then we will get the show on the road here.
Is there alcohol in this?
Oh, God, honey, no. What kind of mother do you think I am? Why do you want a little bit? Because if you're going to drink, I'd rather you do it in the house.
Hey, Aqualung! Make it Suntory time.
Hi,
Hello.
Sam. Welcome.
Hello, Tracy. How are you doing?
I'm doing quite well. I explained to the chat, I'm sure you heard that I had some technical difficulties today. So
Yeah.
I apologize, but hopefully you can see me okay.
Tracy, don't worry about it. I get technical issues here all the time. When I was on Pete's stream last month, holy crap, I just couldn't believe the amount of technical difficulties I had on that stream. It was absolute carry on, I tell you.
I bet. I know. You think that, I film a lot for different jobs here and there. And I never have issues when it's just me filming stuff like a wedding or a commercial, something like that for, social media for a company. But like when it's just live streaming, which would be the easiest thing in the world, there's always headaches. And even
Yeah.
Bridger, who I shoot with, the last time yesterday, he had huge issues before we shot. So I don't know if it's because there was a huge update in the computers that I have or what, but chaos, I'll tell you.
Yeah, crikey, I don't know. I mean, it's funny because it's been quite like sort of wishy-washy, like probably the last month and a bit now, this internet. So I really don't know what's going on, but I thought it was phenomenal that I actually got into 4 hours, and like 15 minutes on Pete's stream last month. So yeah, despite those glitches.
Yes, and they go on for a very long time. So that's great that
Yeah.
you're able to sustain that. Before I get to the chat, I'd love for you to introduce yourself a little bit and, why you love film, what got you into film. I know you're a huge music head as well, which is fantastic.
I've got.
And I have
I'm sorry, Tris. I was just going to say I've got my Bowie T-shirt on today as well. Actually.
Well, that's perfect. Yeah, I'm gonna
Yeah.
ask you some questions regarding the combination of your love of film and music a little later. But I'd love for you to talk to the chat and just let them know a little bit about who you are. And I'll put you on the big screen if you don't mind.
Of course. So yeah. I'm Sam, and obviously, so basically, I've kind of been part of the film community for probably about 2 years now, I would say, give or take. And yeah, haven't got like a YouTube channel right now for the foreseeable future. Sorry, but I hope to like get a YouTube channel one day. But yeah, for right now, I have got like my Instagram and my letterbox as well. And yeah, I am a big movie lover, of course. I've been collecting Blu-ray for like since early 2021 now, and 4K for the last year and a bit. So yeah, I've got my Instagram page, which is DWhoFan98. If you want to keep up on top of obviously my vinyl purchases and all my Blu-ray purchases and what I've been watching on Letterboxd. Yeah, you could go and check me out under Sam Glendenning on Letterboxd as well.
Oh, well, that's fantastic. And I apologize. I did not put your letterbox on the description, but I will definitely add that as well.
Oh, yeah, no worries, Tracy. Thank you very much.
Yeah. So there's a bunch of people that I want to just pull up real quick because everyone's excited that you're here. So that's pretty fantastic. Let's see.
In my case, it's Samtastic.
Samtastic. Yes, I like that.
Yeah.
I'm actually starring a couple of people as well because they have questions that I don't want to skip. Let's see here. I'm just going to get to the ones that are saying hi to you first.
Hello, Josh.
Yes, Josh says hi. Movies and Trains.
Hello, mate.
Yeah, this is Dell. He has a great channel. All these people have great channels, but yes,
Yeah.
Dell's happy to be here. Happy to have you. This is actually for you. I'm really glad that Josh brought this up because I really want to see this movie.
Yeah.
And it was even for New York. Usually we get like more access to these types of films. And it was really hard for me to fit it into my schedule. So how did you see that? I'd love to hear a little bit about that.
Now, I'm glad you asked, actually, Tracy, because over here, like near Newcastle, we've got an independent cinema called Tyneside Cinema, and yeah, they basically show a lot of these classic films and sort of indie art house films as well. And yeah, it was funny because I was meant to go and see Passages last week. Unfortunately, I was a little bit under the weather. But yeah, I actually got to see it yesterday, and I thought it was really good. Definitely one of Mubi's best films recently. I could definitely say that. And I thought the guy Ben
Wishaw?
Wishaw, he probably put in his best performance in this film. Actually, I thought he did a fantastic job. The German actor, he was really good, but I must admit the character he played wasn't very likable at times. And then you've got, I'm not going to butcher this girl's surname, but Adele, and then surname, but she is fantastic. She's actually, same as Josh, one of my favorite films of all time, Blue is the Warmest Color. She's in that. And yeah, she's brilliant in this. It was good. I felt they could have enhanced with the runtime, maybe flesh out a few things with the characters. I felt it got a little bit rushed towards the end. They could have enhanced on a few things, but it was still good, and I'll definitely happily add it to my Mubi Blu-ray collection, definitely.
That's fantastic. Yeah, I really like Ben Wishaw. I think the last time I saw him was in Women Talking. He played the one Amish guy that helped them out. He was great. I like his work a lot. And yeah, the Passages, as soon as I saw the trailer, I was like, oh, I have to see this film. It takes place in Paris, right?
I think it does, yeah, because obviously you've got Adele, that actress, I think she's French, and then you've got the other guy, France somebody who's, I think, German, and then you've got obviously Ben Whishaw who's British as well. So yeah, but I think it is set in Paris, but it is a really like lovely little film though. It's kind of like things just keep flipping on its head constantly throughout the film, and you don't know which sort of it, like you don't know which person that who wants to be with who. It's that sort of thing. It constantly keeps changing in that sort of like narrative structure, but it's done brilliantly, and how they've structured it within an hour and a half, I thought, yeah, that was fantastic. The pacing was very spot on as well.
Wow, I love that. You know, I'm all about you know, a 3-hour film can absolutely work if the pacing's right. But then it is also so nice to see a really well developed film that is only an hour and a half or something like that, you know, because that's actually sometimes very difficult to do, to have all the characters developed and have the plot really fleshed out properly in a short amount of time. So I really appreciate that. I'm gonna just people are just saying hi. Just want to say hello to Caveman Movies and More. Dell says, I hit the like on the way in, as you should have. Thank you so much, Dell.
Thank you.
Minajul
Hello,
says,
mate.
hi, Sam.
Hiya.
Yeah. Laren says, hey, Sam. Everyone's saying
Hello.
hi. Maxfield, my boyfriend, says, Sam.
Hello, Max.
I told him I was so excited about this one, so he knew I was looking forward to it.
I told him that I'm going to give him a follow on Letterboxd as well. So, because I think you did say he's just set it up, hasn't he?
Yes, he has. Yes. So a lot of the films on his watch list are actually movies he's seen. We're transferring our Netflix DVD queue list to his watch list. So because they're getting rid of that. So that's what we're doing. It's a shame, but so don't think he hasn't seen most of those movies, because he has. Chris Oldham.
It's my brother.
Oh, that's so kind. Well, thanks so much.
Thank you, Chris.
Yeah, that's very kind. Slip to Garcon, followed I9G. Very nice. Slip to Garcon's very supportive of the people that come on and of the film, the streams that I do. So it's very nice. Me and Sam have the same taste in film, movie titles being our bread and butter.
Yeah.
Fantastic.
I totally agree with you, Josh. And, you know, Josh, I have a lot to thank, because you kind of sort of steered me into the direction of a lot of these, you know, like sort of indie art house films. I think near everyone has got you to thank for recommending After Sun. Did you discover that film through Josh as well, Tracy?
I did not. I actually, because Paul Mescal was nominated for Best Actor, I try to see as many Oscar nominees as I can. So that was kind of just on my list, and I watched it
Yeah.
prior to the Oscars. I mean, he's a superstar about to happen. Like, you know what I mean? Like, Paul Mescal
Yeah,
was incredible. Have you heard of the
definitely.
rumors that he might be in? I know nothing's confirmed, and they can't confirm anything, but he was talked about for Fantastic Four for the new reboot of that.
Oh, right. That's interesting. I must admit, Tracy, they really missed the trick of not keeping John Krasinski, like going
Mm.
forward as Richard Reed. I think they really missed the trick there. But I'm sure he could put in a good job, and he is a great actor from what I've seen. I did watch the film God's Creatures, which I wasn't a big fan. I really struggled to get into that one. And I don't particularly know what to think of that upcoming film he's in called Four. I think it's
Oh.
got Cerise Ronan in it. I don't know if Josh will probably let us know if he's seen the trailer for that. But I personally wasn't a fan. But we'll have to see. I'll see what the reviews are like. And I'm gonna try and read the book of Normal People before I watch the TV series.
Mm. Yeah, I'm actually, I got to tell you, this next question is exactly what I was going to ask you because you are both
Yeah.
a film person and a music person. My question was going to be to you. Are you a fan of music biopics? Is there one that you love more than others? Are
Yeah,
there one? Okay, perfect.
there is. And it's so underrated, Tracy, because Joy Division are one of my favourite bands. And there is a little film called Control, which is about Ian Curtis, the lead singer, and it's kind of building up. It's kind of building up until he obviously took his own life, and it's obviously that obviously when you get to that scene, it's absolutely heart wrenching. But the film is absolutely brilliant. Sam Riley's kind of like a spitting image of Ian Curtis in that. And then the actress who played, she was in Cynic Dutch, New York, and she was in The Walking Dead season 9, 10, and 11. I think it was season 9 and 10. I can't remember, but she did a fantastic job as Deborah Curtis in that film as well.
Wow. So, and it's called Control. I think I remember seeing the trailer for that a while back.
Yeah.
I'm happy that you are able to give your review on that. Any biopics where you think they really missed the mark with music biopics?
Oh, yeah, actually, Tracy, I felt the film London Town, I think it was mainly about the Clash fans instead of about the band itself. I felt the trailer really missold that film because I was hoping it was going to be a Joe Strummer biopic, but Joe Strummer was barely in the film at all. It was mainly about the fans, but I thought it was a very average, middle of the road film, Tracy. If you want to give it a go, of course, give it a go. But I felt they really missed a trick with that, and it's a shame because the guy, I can't think of the guy's name now, who was in Bend It Like Beckham and Match Point from Woody Allen, but he did look the part as Joe Strummer. But
Jonathan Rhys Meyers.
yeah,
Jonathan Rhys
he
Meyers,
did.
yeah.
He's pretty good when he was for the scenes he was in, but unfortunately they didn't really utilize much of his screen presence in that film, and it was such a shame because he actually did a decent job for the scenes he was in.
I want to know what happened to Jonathan Rhys Meyers because he was, I think he was a fantastic actor in everything in him, and I haven't seen him in anything recently. If anyone in the chat has seen Jonathan Rhys Meyers anywhere, let us know.
Yeah.
And now I'm not going to go on and on about this one question. I need to ask your opinion on this.
No worries.
Between Bohemian Rhapsody and Rocket Man, I have a very strong opinion on this. I think Rocket Man was a phenomenal biopic, and I'm very lukewarm on Bohemian Rhapsody just because it felt a little superficial. Like it felt a little like like, oh, let's tell the pretty version and not the gritty version of the band. So I'd love to hear your thoughts between Bohemian Rhapsody and Rocket Man.
Well, Tracy, Bohemian Rhapsody, I think that getting best editing at Oscars was a big mistake because the editing in that was pretty sort of convoluted, very sort of wishy-washy at times. I really couldn't get on board with that. And I don't know, it felt more like about the life of Freddie Mercury instead of the band Queen, which I was kind of hoping we were going to focus more on the band than just obviously. I was glad they gave you that insight on Freddie Mercury, but as well, I would have liked to seen a bit more about the band as well. I think they kind of missed the mark there, but I'm not a big fan of the film itself, and I don't think it's very factually correct, if I'm not mistaken, as well, especially towards the end.
Yes, no, that's what I always laugh about. So
Yeah,
the band was heavily involved, but it felt like we got a PG version of what was like an R NC-17 lifestyle. So it's just interesting that it was depicted like that. I think that the Live Aid concert was really shot well and directed well, and I really liked that at the end of the film. And I think because that's at the end of the film and it's done so well, it put a higher it gave people a much more of a positive viewpoint of the movie because that's the last part they saw. But
yeah.
without that, I think it would have been, not as well received. Just going in here really quick.
Sorry, Tracy, just to
Yeah.
say as well, I haven't seen Rocket Man, but I have seen Walk the Line. That's a great film. I do love that.
Sure. Well, I highly recommend Rocket Man.
Yeah,
Taron Egerton was phenomenal, and it was really they took a lot of artistic risks that you don't always see in biopics, and I think you would really appreciate it, Sam. Uh,
yeah. Thank you.
yes, we've got Matt. Hi, Matt. I'm so happy for you to join us today. Any biopics you like, Matt? I'm sure I'd love to hear your opinion. So he's great. Really fantastic channel.
Cool.
It's very nice to see all these people in here that are, again, it's like everyone's got such great channels and content.
Yeah.
So autocorrect is the bane of my existence. Yes. But he did say hail Sam. So that's
Oh, hello,
his little
mate.
thing. It's really
Thank
cute.
you.
Anytime instead of saying hi, he says hail. It's really adorable. Very kind. Hey, everyone. I'm just home watching Mary Poppins and later going to watch Toy Story 3. Which Mary
Oh,
Poppins?
nice.
The original? I hope it's the original because the original is the better one. But
Well, Tracy, I was just going to say Toy Story 3 is my favorite Toy Story film.
oh,
So
yeah.
he's picked an excellent choice. It's probably one of my favorite films ever. I love Toy Story 3, and it would have been the perfect ending to the Toy Story franchise. But still, with Toy Story 4, what we got was still a very solid, well, I was going to say it was a very solid ending, but there's going to be a Toy Story 5, which is going to be interesting how it goes.
I know. It's so hard to choose a favorite, but I know that the end of Toy Story 3, talking about endings leaving an impact, that left such an impact on me, and I was sobbing throughout the entire part. It was it's an end of an era, and that's always, you move forward, but you're always leaving behind something, and it's that transition, and it can be a little bit sad sometimes. I want to bring this up. This is a great point through the lens. So this reminds me of when they actually asked Emma Stone to be in the Fantastic Four, and she said, if I'm not getting 40 million, I think it was 40 million, then I'm not doing it. And I feel like
Okay.
if you're an Oscar winner, you're a legit actor, you don't want to become a part of a franchise like that, ask for more money, because if they're not going to do it, then you saved yourself having to do that. And then at the end of the day, again, she's already won an Oscar. She's now in Poor Things, which is a huge Oscar contender, and she probably has a huge chance of winning for that again. Leonardo DiCaprio, I've heard has been mentoring Timothée Chalamet, and he has always told him time and time again, don't do a superhero movie. Like, if you want a longevity in your career, I'm sure that's not always the case, but that it's interesting advice that's being passed on with people that really care about the entire role issue opposed to the money from Marvel and DC.
Yeah, it's an interesting one, Tracy, because I think me and Josh are in agreement here. We've really not been a fan of the quality of Marvel in the last couple of years. I think it's very much dwindled in quality, in my opinion. And I think I can see where Josh is coming from. I think they need to they don't really need, they don't need to keep cherry picking all these big actors, for the sake of it. You know what I mean? They kind of, but I feel like it is it just, as I say, as long as, if a couple of these obviously actors are in it to serve a purpose and not just get, wasted obviously in the film. I can give you an example of this, Tracy. Bill Murray did absolutely nothing in Ant-Man Quantumania, which is a crying shame, and Michael Douglas. So if any of those big actors like Paul Mescal are going to be in any future Marvel films, it's got to be done right and serve a purpose, and just not for the sake of it, and just only for a paycheck, if that makes sense, really.
It does make sense.
Yeah.
It absolutely makes sense. It's a good tool to launch a career. I know that the girl from, and I'm blanking on her name right now, the girl from the last Mission Impossible, actually, she's been in a couple Mission Impossibles.
Vanessa Kirby?
Yes, thank you. For her, that makes so much sense. She looks the part. She's not the superstar that, someone like Emma Stone is at this point. She needs kind of a launching pad. And I think that these films should be launching pads for actors instead of just, otherwise it's like, well, yeah, maybe when they hit like a certain age, like I love when Helen Mirren signs on to do anything, because it's like, I love that she's just got a guaranteed paycheck because she's put her dues in for so long. But you know what I'm saying? It's a great launching pad for young actors and actresses. But I think Paul Mescal should probably stay away. I think he's already, if he's been nominated for Best Actor at this point, he should stray away far from Marvel or DC.
I agree.
Now that Emmy season has been postponed, Oscar season is tasting so sweet. I know there's so many festivals going on right now, and the Emmys were postponed because of the strike. I think they're going to be in December, but I'm not positive about that one.
Yeah. Oh, thank you.
Yes, people are very excited
on Instagram. Thank you.
Yes. Okay, so this is in referring to the film you were talking about, God's Creatures. Was fine. It was okay at best. I was going to see FOE. Do you know what film that is, Sam?
That's the new film with Paul Mescal and Saoirse Ronan. Yeah.
Cool. But missed out. Normal People is my favorite new show ever. Very cool. I don't know what that is, and I will definitely check it out. Have you seen Normal People?
I haven't, Tracy. The reason being is because I feel like I need to read the book before I sort of watch the adaptation of it. So yeah, I definitely will have to try and rectify the book at some point. But I know Josh absolutely adores that show. I think it was him or someone else, I think, that got the soundtrack to it recently. I can't remember. I don't know if someone posted it in the Big Paulie group. I'm not too sure, but the vinyl, it looks really nice, to be fair.
Oh, well, that's very cool.
Hello, AJ.
Do you know AJ?
Yeah, I'm familiar with him. Yeah.
Oh, thank you so much, AJ, for stopping by. We're all happy to have Sam here. That's for sure. Just watch your Howard the Duck video. Oh, okay. So if this AJ did a Howard the Duck video, then I need to absolutely watch it, because I love Howard the Duck. I love Howard the Duck so much.
I've got a shocking sin to confess here, Tracy. I've never seen it.
I don't even I think it's not that I love the film. I love the concept of the character so much. And I know that Howard the Duck has been sprinkled in with the Guardians of the Galaxy films. And I literally, if they did a Howard the Duck movie with Jeff Goldblum and just went with that, and they opened up a lounge together, I would watch that. They're a trip. I'm going to star this one too. There's a couple things I'm going to star. I'm going to actually ask you a question. We're on this. This is still biopic related, so I want to bring this up.
Oh,
Two really good music biopics about Billie Holiday: Lady Sings the Blues and The United States versus Billie Holiday. So, Lady Sings
that's
the Blues,
cool.
I think, wasn't that? I believe that was Audra McDonald that did that. And if I'm wrong, Dell, please correct me. But maybe Audra McDonald just did it as a play, but I feel like that was a thing. But I've not seen The United States versus Billie Holiday, and I really enjoy
No,
listening to Billie Holiday, so I would like to
I've
see
got
that.
crikey, what is it? I've got one of her albums. I think it's Lady on. Is it Satin or someone? I think I've got that famous album of hers on vinyl, and that's a really gorgeous album.
Oh, very cool. So yeah, I love this. I love that people can just recommend stuff. It's fantastic. Oh, this is a good point. I don't like biopics. I prefer documentaries about people.
Yeah, I think I have to agree with that. The best music documentary I've ever seen is about my second favorite band of all time, which is XTC. Yeah, they're like my second favorite ever band after Elbow, and that documentary is it XTC. This is pop. That's my favorite like documentary ever. Absolutely love it. They couldn't have done a better job than they did with that documentary in terms of how they insight the band and gave you that proper in-depth, like how the band's formed and about Andy Partridge and Colin Moulding, Dave Gregory. It's phenomenal. Need to rewatch that documentary. Actually, it's been a canny while.
That sounds great. You're selling everyone here and me. I just wanted to point this out too because I'm telling you, Sam, I think you're gonna love Rocket Man. I agree that it is better. Just a few more things here before I ask.
Well, I have to check it out because I think you can get it relatively cheap on 4K now. So I must admit, Tracy, I'm not a massive Elton John fan. I do respect him. He's just never been one of my favorite artists. But as I say, and I think that maybe was the reason why I never bothered with Rocket Man. But you know what? I think it's about time I give that film a go. And you never know, even though I don't necessarily have to be a massive fan of his music to enjoy the like this biopic. So yeah, I'll definitely have to check it out before the year is up.
Oh, totally. I think that it's like if the biopic is well done and it's interesting and it's about someone that you're either unfamiliar with or someone that you're not a huge fan of, it doesn't really matter at that point if the person's life is interesting. And his life was, I would say, quite interesting. I got to bring this up really quick before we switch topics. Emma Stone is a queen worth every penny. She's a perfect mix of sexy and cute. And I know what that quote is. That's from, I don't know if you ever saw this, Sam. She's a perfect mix of sexy and cute. It's from Crazy Stupid Love.
I've never seen that. I need to, because it's got crikey, Ryan Gosling and Steve Carell. I've heard that film's really good. I believe James Movie Bug's a big fan of that film. I definitely need to check that out at some point.
Yes, I highly recommend it. The title of the film is not the best, and I've said this time and time on this stream before. Steve Carell hates the title of the film, but they spent hours and hours, hundreds of titles, and they couldn't find anything better, and they're just stuck with that one. But so before everyone's talking about biopics, I definitely want to still highlight these because these are all music related. But I would love to ask you really quick, Sam, any scores in the past year, film scores that you have kind of stuck out to you, that you were a fan of, or even the past couple years? They don't have to just be from this past year.
Crikey. Well, I think I'll go with some of the, I guess if I was to say like pinpoints, like maybe just off the bat, really a couple of, like scores of like say the 60s or 70s. Obviously, it's a bit of a hodgepodge of like different, like obviously it's kind of like they've just picked like a different range of scores from different composers. But 2001, I absolutely adore the soundtrack to that. And then from Jerry Goldsmith, you've got the Planet of the Apes soundtrack as well, and Leonard Roseman, who did Beneath the Planet of the Apes and the 1978 adaptation of Lord of the Rings. Yeah, they've kind of been sort of recent discoveries for me. But from the last couple of years, off the bat, I'm probably going to go with the Batman from 2022. I absolutely adore the score to that. You know, it's very much defies the brooding and grittiness of Gotham, and yeah, absolutely phenomenal stuff. I kind of regret not getting the soundtrack of that on vinyl now. And crikey, anything recently? Well, I probably would go with Oppenheimer because I did love the score to that as well, and that was a beautiful score.
It was a beautiful score, and it's the first time in a while that Nolan did not use Hans Zimmer. So
Yeah,
that was interesting. It felt I think it worked with the film quite well. I mean, and if we're on the subject of Hans Zimmer, Interstellar, I think is absolutely gorgeous. I listen to it anytime I'm writing. I absolutely love that one, and I actually really enjoy the score from The Joker with Joaquin Phoenix, and it won Best Score at the
yeah.
Oscars. And people were talking about the new one on Twitter recently, and they kept thinking that the person that did the score was a man, but it's actually a woman. And I forget her name, so forgive me, because everyone's questioning how much music is going to be in the new one because it's supposed to be musical. But they kept referring to the composer as a he because the name is this like very specific German name, so it was kind of one of those you can't tell. But I just remember that it was a woman because I remember watching the Oscars that year, and she got up there, and it was a phenomenal score for the Joker, and I really liked what she did with that.
You know what? I can't really remember too much of the score for Joker, Tracy, only because I've only seen the film the once, and that was like 4 years ago now. I'm being meaning to go back and rewatch Joker, but yeah, I've heard. I'm obviously aware that the score is obviously very popular and that film's well acclaimed. It's going to be interesting how Joker 2 plays out as a musical. Obviously, I think you've got Lady Gaga
Yes.
and obviously Joaquin Phoenix at the forefront there. I don't know if it's the same director as the first Joker.
Yes, Todd Phillips. Yeah.
Is it? Yeah, yeah.
Mhm.
Okay.
It's very exciting. Todd Phillips, I think because I watched a whole thing actually on this recently. I think the fact that Todd Phillips is so well versed in comedy, he really lets the actors improv. And because the Joker is such an eccentric um, character, really, I mean, you could say a billion things about him. Using that improv tool on set for something like this works so well, I think, because you just come up with these concepts of, oh well, let me try it this way and that way, and there were so many different takes that they filmed and kind of just played on set with how kind of like psychotic this character is supposed to be, and I think that works really
Yeah.
well. It's not just limited to comedy.
Well, it's interesting, Tracy, because I felt it was kind of like very much of a transition for Todd Phillips to go from something a bit more like witty, quirky comedy, like I say, The Hangover, to go to obviously Joker. It's very sort of an impressive like transition that obviously he wanted to sort of give you like sort of a character study sort of drama, and I felt this. You probably heard of this, Tracy, but that film's been massively compared to say The King of Comedy and Taxi Driver. You could see
Yes.
where he got those influences from. But yeah, I do need to give Joker like a rewatch. Funny enough, Tracy, I am actually on a bit of a Batman kick at the minute. I've been watching the animation series for the first time, obviously for the early 90s, Kevin Conroy
Yeah.
and Mark Hamill as well. And I went to go and see Batman 89 on the big screen on Saturday. So I'm definitely been on a bit of a Batman kick at the minute.
Oh, well, that's fantastic. Yeah, I know it was Batman Day on Saturday, wasn't it?
It was.
Yeah, that's really cool.
And
A lot of theaters were showing a lot of the different Batman films. I didn't get a chance to go, but I think that's still really great that they're doing that.
yeah, definitely.
Jason the Old Millennial says, "Hey Tracy and
Hello.
Sam." Let's see here. Paul Mescal is hot. I agree. He is a very attractive new upcoming actor for sure. He's got stars in his future. I'll tell you that. I watched Past Lives yesterday and thought it was really good. I would like 3 Oscar nominations for acting, screenplay, directing, and musical score. Yeah, I think that I'm glad you liked it. I hope it's like, I hope I'm like not overhyping it. So when people see it and they think it's like not as good as I said, I still think it's like the best film of the year. But have you seen Past Lives yet?
Yeah, I went to go and see it last week, Tracy, and I thought it was really good. I think I gave it like an 8.5 out of 10. And it's certainly one of the A24's finest. I probably would put it in like my top 10 A24 films for sure. And I think again I've got Josh to thank for discovering that film as well. So it was really beautiful. I really enjoyed that. I'm hoping it does get a Blu-ray release over here, Tracy, because unfortunately, not all the time, but sometimes some of these big hit films we don't get a shot at in terms of getting its release on physical media. Like The Whale never got a UK release, Blu-ray release over here. Everything, Everywhere, All at Once, Best Picture winner, and Coda as well, and I love those films, and they're just not getting the physical media treatment over here. It's a crying shame. The Menu is another one as well.
Wow. I know The Menu isn't produced by A24, but if A24, if most of the films you mentioned were A24, and you're not able to get physical media purchases of those, there's something wrong with their distribution. I think they're big enough now they can afford to do that. That's really crazy to me.
Well, it's why I'm really looking forward to going to New York as well for my birthday, because I'm really excited for that, going obviously like in January. What a fantastic start to the new year that is. But I'm hoping to get some 4Ks over there, Tracy, and Everything Everywhere, because it just doesn't seem to be going to get the light of day of a Blu-ray 4K copy over here. So I'm probably gonna have to get the 4K when I'm there, and there probably a couple of the other films for sure, definitely.
Well, I'm excited you're coming to New York. I'm Max and I will absolutely take you out for a birthday drink. That's for sure when you come.
Oh, bless you. Thank you very much.
Matt, I've just followed you on IG. Is that the only place for hot takes? Yes. It's your Instagram and your Letterboxd.
Yeah, that's correct. Just my Instagram and Letterboxd for now, and then obviously one day I'll hopefully get my YouTube channel going. I'm hoping I think you are familiar with John Mondochelovec, aren't you, Tracy?
Yes.
Because I'm hoping me and John are going to be doing our music discussion live stream at some point. And actually, I probably should have mentioned at the end, to be honest, when you're going to ask me about music. But yeah, we're hoping to talk all things music, because me and Johnny have got a lot of like bands and artists in common. So I'm really looking forward to when we do that live stream, me and John.
No, I agree with that. That sounds really fun. There's a question for you that there's a couple questions.
Cool.
Actually. We'll start with this one. And then we'll go to the next one. Ryan Reynolds, Oscar Isaac has had the best redemption playing a comic book character after their first time didn't go well. I think that's not a really hot take. I think that makes sense, right?
Sorry, Tris, I'm just getting
okay.
enlightenment from this comment.
Yeah, so I guess Ryan Reynolds, the first time they played Deadpool, the second time was much better.
So has the best redemption playing after the first time didn't go well. So Oscar Isaac, oh my God, sorry, Tracy. I'm just trying to think. He's talking about Moon Knight in a.
Yes, I believe so.
Yeah, I was trying to remember what I was actually trying to remember there for a minute what Marvel superhero he played. And I thought he did an okay job as Moon Knight, but Moon Knight for me, Tracy, I don't know about yourself, but that was definitely a one-time watch for me. I thought it was good, but it's something I never need to go back and rewatch. But Ryan Reynolds, I thought did a very good job as Deadpool. Certainly in Deadpool 1 and 2. It's going to be interesting what they do going forward in Deadpool 3. And I really liked the promo pics with obviously Deadpool, and then you've got Wolverine in his original suit. So yeah, we'll see how that goes, because I think Deadpool 3 is coming out in 2025, I believe.
I mean, I believe so. I for some reason I thought it
Yeah.
was 2024, but I'm not with the delays.
Okay.
I'm not sure. But I agree. I would say for the way I feel about Moon Knight is that I think I liked the series. I'm more interested to see what they do with him moving forward in I personally think like when they have the new Avengers, they're going to want Moon Knight in there. I also feel like his romantic lead in that series, I forget her name in it. I just know her real name as an actress, May Calamwe. I'm sure they're doing something with her because they set her up so much to do something with by the end of it. So I'm curious to see what they do with that universe moving forward to combine it with everything else that's currently going on with Marvel, because I think they can do really interesting things with the psyche and like all the borderlining on all the mental illness stuff. But there's a lot of stuff that I think they can dive deep into. This is for you because I do not think I've ever done this, and I'm going to put you on if you want to answer that. I'm sure you have. So, and if not, or things you're looking forward to coming out with steel books or any new releases you're excited for.
Oh, crikey. Well, it's funny that because I have got I say I've got the Psycho Arrow box set, the 4K with the 4 films on its way. That should be coming on Monday. And I don't think I've got much else, on pre-order for right now. I've got the Breaking the Waves 4K, which is from Lars von Trier. So I'm looking forward to that, and that's going to be first time watch for me. I'm so excited for the 4K Criterion release of After Hours. So excited for that, which is coming out on the 9th of October. And I might even pre-order it pretty soon. So yeah, and probably some of the other Radiance films titles that's coming out next month. So yeah, all that jazz really.
Oh, that's fantastic. I love when there's collectors on because I'm not currently, so they can always answer those questions. In the future I will though. So that's good. Oh, thank you. Thank you so much. That is the woman that did the score for the Joker that won the
Okay.
Oscar. So yeah, but incredible scores in Women Talking and Tar. Thank you so much. Hilder, and I cannot pronounce that. Can you pronounce? I don't know if you're able to pronounce that last name.
Oh, let's
It's
see.
tough.
Hilda. Jeanette. Oh no, sorry.
Yeah.
There was
It's
my
tough.
attempt.
You can totally see why people on Twitter, I guess, thought it was, if they didn't know, was they assumed it was a man that wrote the score for that. But yes, thank you, Caveman Movies and More, for clarifying her name. I have to say, the New York setting for Past Lives, it was
Yeah.
really great. I actually saw it by accident. I saw Past Lives in a theater that was in that same neighborhood, in like the Lower East Side, East Village, and so sitting there watching, I was like, oh wait, I'm like literally right here. And then in my review, I tried to show the carousel that they go to
Okay.
because
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
will go by there all the time, across the way because it's in Brooklyn, but it's facing Manhattan. And yeah, I loved it. It felt very intimate and special to Celine Song, the director, and I think it's a really personal story for her to tell. And I really thought that those, like, if you live here, there are these certain parts of New York that you kind of cling onto and you really love returning to time and time again, and you find magic in them. And I think that that's what she was trying to express in the locations she chose. I think they were very special to her, and I definitely came across for me.
Yeah. That's a really fantastic point, Tracy, because I really did love the where New York, sorry, was shot in that film. It looks fantastic, and I just love films that really do that. Pick a like obviously like a wonderful city like New York, and then you've got a brilliant film to complement it, and Celine Song did a really fantastic job with the direction with that film, especially going off the bat, and like with her directorial debut. It's just got me excited about the future for this director. And I could say, going a little bit off topic here, but obviously with After Sun for Charlotte Wells, because that was a fantastic directorial debut. I'm looking forward to what she's going to bring to the table in the future. So yeah, but that was absolutely fantastic. And it's funny, Tracy, because as I say, when I mentioned about After Hours, which is going to be a first-time watch for me when I get the 4K Criterion, that takes place in New York as well, doesn't it?
I believe so. I haven't seen it though, so I would love to hear what you think of it when you see it.
Yeah, I'm really excited to check it out. But yeah, I think Tracy, you're really fortunate to have so many great films that's like being located in like your home city, and Past Lives was definitely no exception to that.
Yes. Yeah, it's interesting because there's so many different characters in the city itself. Like every area is like very different. So I want everyone to know if they've never been to New York, it's not just Times Square all the time. That is like you do that once in a while, and
Yeah,
everything else is they all have little different characters themselves. Every borough, well, not even borough. Yes, the boroughs do, but every little part, has different characters, in my opinion.
yeah.
This is your friend, I believe, Sun Bem, just finished night duty,
Oh,
7 hours eating his porridge and listening to you. Maybe you don't know him.
I'm not sure, Tracy.
No, that's fine.
I don't know who it is, but I will just say, yeah, thank you. Hi, for watching. Yeah.
Matt says, I appreciate that you guys liked it, but I thought Past Lives was horrible. I thought it was one of the worst movies of the year. I'm so curious to know why, because I felt like I bawled my eyes out, and I didn't think it was going to happen at the very end, when she says goodbye. And I think it is that just question of it's like grieving past versions of yourself, and even friendships, not even just relationships. Like there's so many versions of ourselves as we grow, and I think it's like they're kind of with you, but you're still kind of grieving them. And she never got a chance to grieve the loss of that person that was in her life. And even though she's really happy in her current relationship, I kind of felt that was like something that was beautifully showcased at the end there.
Yeah. But I was going to say, Matt, yeah, sorry to hear you didn't enjoy it, mate. Yeah, it does happen, some times for some people, a film could get overhyped, but maybe there might be some people that might not gel with that film. It does happen sometimes. But yeah, sorry to hear you didn't enjoy it, mate. Maybe it might be worth one revisiting in future. But yeah, I will say, because I kind of forgot how the trailer played out before I went into the film, and and I think that was a good thing, to be honest, Tracy, because I didn't expect the sort of the moral and the direction that this film was gonna go in, and yeah, I kind of liked how it did that. It wasn't becoming that predictable towards the end, in my opinion. So yeah, it was interesting, and you were rooting for the main guy in it as well. I was certainly rooting for his character, that that he was obviously going to get together like with sorry, Tracy, I forgot both of the characters' names.
No, that's okay. That's fine. Yeah, I thought it was just a very adult viewpoint of relationships, and I felt that the fact that her current boyfriend and her childhood friend were both really likable made it so much more realistic. Because like no one was in the wrong.
I get that.
Yeah, no one was vilified, and everyone kind of had this understanding. Yeah, I thought it really just, again, it's such an intimate tale, I felt. But again, I there are movies that don't hit for everyone, Matt, so I understand.
Yeah. I will say though, Tracy, I did like what was it, the guy who played her husband in it? I thought he did a really good job, and I
Yeah.
loved the sort of the lo-fi score they went for in that film. It's kind of the similar sort of style that Arctic Monkeys would do in recent times. So that was quite cool to hear, like that sort of lo-fi lounge sort of score.
Yeah, and I'm glad you brought that up because I haven't checked them out, but there's the people that did the score. It's a band from Brooklyn called Grizzly Bear, and it's the two guys from that
Yeah.
band did the score for Past Lives. So I'm sure you already know that, but I didn't know that until after I saw the film and researched it. So
I've heard of Grizzly Bear, Tracy, but I don't think I'm clued up on any of their albums. Have you got a go-to album, or did you say that you're not too familiar with their stuff? I'm not. I've heard the name, but I'm not too familiar with their albums personally.
no, I'm not actually familiar with their stuff, but I did really enjoy the score and appreciated
Yeah.
it quite a bit. Uh, I gotta bring up a couple of these for us.
Hello.
I'm so sorry. I kicked myself out.
Sorry, Tracy.
I was
It's absolutely fine. As I said, Tracy, the amount of technical difficulties I've had here is shockingly bad. So,
Oh my goodness.
but I will just say though, Tracy, it's been absolutely fantastic this stream. Though I've really enjoyed it.
Oh, thank you. Well, I did not. Yeah, we still have about 7 more minutes left, so I didn't
Oh
mean
yeah,
to chime out or cut out too soon.
yeah.
I
Oh
went
no,
to
no,
go to the
no.
starred stuff, and I you know, moving
Yeah.
on. Before we move on to the start, though, I want to Double Feature podcast. Mika is a fantastic person, and I'm going to have her on, I believe, in October. She's a big horror fan.
Yeah.
And I know she's heard me talk about this movie, but I have to ask you, Sam, have you
Hello.
ever seen? I'm going to bring it up in the next comment because I'm still not over this movie. Have you ever seen Eden Lake with Michael
Oh,
Fassbender?
oh my God. Well, Tracy, I'm sure it. Oh, I'm sure it. I'm sure it's a good film, but my God, I don't know if I have the stomach for that movie. I've heard it is absolutely brutal to the core. Um, yeah, I might give it a watch one day, but I don't know if I have the stomach for that film. I've heard it is really graphic, really brutal, and I am obviously good with like certain films that obviously contain like violence, like obviously slashers of course, but I've heard that takes it to an extreme, that film. So yeah, I don't, but no, I've never seen it, but I would be interested though if Max actually did like the film, even though he thought the film was absolutely gruesome. If he still liked the film, I'm not too sure. I obviously will follow him on Letterboxd.
I think he liked it because he showed it to me. I think that Eden Lake is I mean, I think the biggest problem is that there's not, and this is, I don't think this is a spoiler, but there's just not a lot of redemption. So, because I don't find the film to be that outrageously, it's more psychologically brutal because I think you're the entire time you're thinking about what if you were in that position, and it just gets worse and worse and worse. And it is definitely like a film that leaves a mark for sure. But yeah, the ending I think is the most brutal, I would say, as just psychologically. Because
Yeah.
you really, it's almost like if you saw Kill Bill and then like she got murdered by everyone. That's just like an example of like no redemption, I would say, which makes it
Well,
a tough watch.
it's funny, Tracy, because I'm sort of like probably one of the very few people that has seen Kill Bill Volume One without seeing Volume Two. And the last and when I watched Volume One, that was like 7 years ago. So that's definitely due a rewatch for me.
Yeah. Yeah. This is a good question for you, Sam. What are some of the films of your childhood you still watch?
Um, yeah. Well, I could obviously. I've got a massive soft spot for the SpongeBob movie. I absolutely love that from 2004. That I think that's turning 20 next year. God, I feel old. um, but there's other films. Obviously, the original Charlie and the Chocolate Factory, Toy Story. I probably would go Spider-Man 1 and 2 with obviously Tobey Maguire. Um, yeah, probably. Probably just films like that, really.
No, I love that. Are you looking forward to the new Willy Wonka? Because I'm hesitant. I like the director. I know that he did Paddington, but
Yeah.
Timothy
Now,
Chalamet is a little rough for me to buy it with that. But
I obviously night and day, Tracy. I know deep down the original Gene Wilder film is going to be the best. Yeah, it can never be topped. That film, when it comes to a Willy Wonka adaptation, it just can't. It's always going to take that mantle. Um, but it will be interesting to see how they get on with this prequel. I saw the trailer. The trailer wasn't that bad. I actually didn't mind the trailer. It was quite interesting to see Hugh Grant make like a cameo in that actually towards the end. So that was cool. But I I do trust the director because I absolutely love Paddington 1 and 2. Love them movies. So hopefully it'll work out well for that director with this for sure.
yeah, I will say, I did love the orchestrations of the song that's from the original world world of pure imagination. That song that they brought that in at the end of the trailer, I thought that kind of sold it. So even though I'm hesitant, I'm hoping for the best with that one. Wow, the comments today are just blowing up over you.
Yeah.
Let's see. I know you only a couple minutes. I don't always catch your happy hour show, Tracy. YouTube notifications are trash. Sam has been absolutely charming. Really enjoyed this conversation. That's
Oh,
so
bless
kind.
you. Thank you, Matt. Yeah, well, I'm obviously known to be this charming Sam, so there we go. I've actually had that as a studio name on a couple of streams as well.
Yeah. Yeah, it's very nice to have you here. It really is.
Thank you.
You light up the room. And Matt, yeah, I got to get you on here at some point too. So you're not
Yeah.
escaping that easily. This is going to turn into Eden Lake. I'm just going to capture everyone for my live stream. This is a question I know. I'm telling everyone. I
Oh,
apologize that it's not in the description. It will be there, but you can tell everyone, Sam.
yeah, absolutely, Tracy. It is just under Sam Glendenning is my letterbox, and obviously, I am gonna after the stream, I am gonna follow as I say Max and a few of the others. But yeah, that's like my letterbox there. So yeah, I only set it up like back in March time, so I'm fairly new to letterbox myself.
Yeah, it takes, sometimes I remember when I started Letterbox, I was kind of like, oh my God, I have so much work to do to get it. But now I'm just kind of trying to just track everything that I'm currently watching, and I'm not driving myself crazy to go back into every movie I've ever seen in my life because that would just be ridiculous. So just I am Zane Studio, just had to point him out. He was on my stream, I
Okay.
believe a couple, like maybe 6 weeks ago, maybe a month ago, around there. Great channel, really creative guy. Just wanted to shout out to him. Yeah, there's a lot of people saying After Hours is a great show. People are always saying hi to you. That's fantastic. And I think, do you have any recommendations? I want to end on this, and I think I want to do this more often. Any recommendations to anyone of something you've seen recently that maybe has gone by the wayside?
Oh, crikey. Yeah. Recently, as I say, Tracy Passages is a really good shout. I definitely recommend that. Um, I'm trying to think what I watched recently. Crikey. Um,
Or it doesn't have to be recent. It's just something that you really love that you hope everyone has seen.
Yeah, I'm just um I'm just thinking because obviously I saw the Warriors with
Mm.
obviously Nige and Ryan last Tuesday, but I'm just thinking, did I go and see something else? Well, probably Past Lives. That would definitely be one for sure. Um, and I tell you what, Tracy, I would definitely recommend. Actually, yeah, I'll recommend this because Tyneside Cinema are showing this soon, and I cannot wait. One of my favorite British films ever. One of my favorite films ever. It's a film called Dead Man's Shoes, which is a
Oh,
very. It's pretty brutal. It's like a gritty revenge drama. But it's kind of Paddy Considine before he really got his name out there. And Shane Meadows is the director, and Shane Meadows most notable for This Is England, both the film and the TV series. So that's a really good one, and Paddy Considine is just absolutely front and center in that role. So that's really good. But trying to think of one more that kind of springs to mind. I would definitely go with. I tell you what, I definitely would go with because Andrei Tarkovsky is like my second favorite director of all time,
hmm.
and Stalker is my favorite film of all time. I
Wow.
absolutely love that. The one I would recommend if anyone's like for anyone that's a fan of 2001: Space Odyssey, definitely it's a lot slower, pardon me, than 2001, but I would definitely check out Solaris. Vision Visually, it's absolutely breathtaking, and it was absolutely great to see that on the big screen. So, and yeah, it's definitely sort of like sort of like a homage to those those really great space operas as well. So I'd definitely go something like that.
Oh, well, that's great. I'm so glad I asked you for your recommendations. Those were some really good ones. I'll definitely
Thank
put
you.
those on my list. Yeah.
Oh, thank
Everyone's
you
just
very
saying
much,
you had,
Max.
yeah, and everyone's
Yeah,
just great time. Fantastic. Um, so thank you so much, Sam, for joining me. Thank you for everyone in the chat for joining
thank
us
you,
today.
Tracy.
And all I have
Yeah,
to say is cheers and go to the movies or watch a movie and let me know what you think.
yeah, definitely. I will just quickly say, Tracy, thank you very much for having me on your stream tonight. And yeah, and crikey, what I was going to say, tomorrow I am actually seeing the film Scrapper, which what is it? Is that a new indie film that's kind of been called what was it? Oh, sorry, Tracy. I've just read his comments. Sorry, he was talking about Stalker.
Oh, yes.
Oh yeah, absolutely love it. Great, yeah, absolutely agree with you, mate. I absolutely adore that film. I'm gonna rewatch it soon. But yeah, I'm seeing Scrapper tomorrow, which Josh has seen, and it's been called this year's After Sun. So I'm really looking forward to checking that out.
Oh, fantastic. I can't wait to see it as well. And thanks so much again, Sam, for joining. And
Thank you very much.
we'll see you all next time.
Take care, guys. See ya.